Dear ladies and gentlemen, the ELPIS program has always been at the first line in order to analyze developments in European law and European legal practice, be it through a plethora of international network meetings, be it through a variety of publications, or be it especially through its joint degree master program. Therefore, it was with great honor and joy that I accepted the challenge by the head of the ELPIS program and our dear partner and friend, Professor Vasco Pereira da Silva, in order to present shortly a material issue in regard to the European law, which has been affected in praxis by the current coronavirus situation. The matter in hand will be the European Union's state aid law. As you know, the European Union member states are hardly allowed to support their national undertakings financially. This is mainly due to the very strict European Union's competition rules, which have been issued in order to make sure that the European Union's internal market is able to function in an efficient way. So it is no surprise that the European Union's primary law, most notably in its Article 107, Para 1 of the Treaty on the Functioning of the European Union, underlines its negative view in general of any state aid issued by the member states towards the national undertakings. Of course, the very same Article 107 TFEU issues some exceptions, which are of course necessary due to certain situations. Whenever, though, state aid may be granted, there is the rule of a prior notification of such a state aid towards the Commission, based first of all on Article 108 of the Treaty on the Functioning of the European Union, and also based on the procedural regulation which has been issued by the European Union legislator. I'm now talking about the regulation 2015/1589, which underlines in its Article 2 the necessity of a prior notification, and which also emphasizes through its standstill clause of Article 3 of the very same regulation that any state aid may not be granted until the Commission has ultimately decided. This can be seen problematically, especially in times in which, for example, a pandemic takes place and in which the national economies suffer highly. That's why currently some governments within the European Union member states, most notably the Austrian one, has expressed a complaint based on the long time the Commission needs in order to decide about state aid. The Commission sees the matter differently, and of course one can see that not only the Austrian government but also some Scandinavian governments seem to put a lot of pressure upon the Commission to that matter. A probable solution could be given already based on some pre-existing European Union secondary legal acts. Most notably, the very own European Union's legislator has issued the so-called de minimis regulation 1407 of 2013, a general regulation giving the possibility without a notification to have state aid up to a certain plafond or ceiling and for a certain period of time granted from the member states towards their national undertakings. Since we are finding ourselves in a difficult situation, in difficult times, one could propose that it is time for, one could say, a de eminentibus regulation. Due to the very special coronavirus situation, one could propose, for example, that for a certain period of time the necessity of notification would not be in place, and therefore making sure that state aid from the member states towards the national undertakings could take place in a faster and easier way.